know swearing is a problem for you. There's no outer lime on their hands for fingerprints. See, I don't want to know or talk anything about Modek. Ek weet nie wat om te sê nie. It's sad. I don't even know from what to say. Hoe van julle was wil ek weet, man? Yo, welcome back to the best reaction channel on the internet. My name is Rico Diotnotgot and this is a South African Reacts. First things first, if it's your first time here, welcome. Please like the video if you like it. If you don't, tell me why you don't like it. I know swearing is a fucking problem for you, but I don't care. This is my thing. This is what I do. Your puss. Now that we got that out of the way, welcome. Like it. If you can look past the swearing, you might be entertained. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, it's not for you. And I'm glad that you came and checked it out, but now I can fuck off. This also is not a podcast. A podcast is where a few people sit and talk and discuss various topics. Me, I am a reaction channel. I react to things that I have not watched, heard, or seen. So music, I listen to it and it's like, yo, that's gevaarlijk. Go check out other stuff and you'll see. It's my reaction to hearing something for the first time. It's my reaction to finding something out for the first time. It's my reaction that you see. It's like, yo. And that's why it's called South African Reacts. I don't review. I don't debate. I don't know anything. I just react. Okay, I got that out of the way. Members get a whole bunch of benefits. Consider signing up. There's a link in the description. Click on it and you'll see the perks that you get and what it is that you get. You get access to everything first. You get suggestions. You get all that stuff and so on and so on and so on. There's a lot you get there. Also, there's a playlist in there of my favorite songs that I reacted to over the last couple of years. Click on that, like it, blah, 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 blah. I don't care who did what. I'm here to watch stuff that people put in public. It's not me pimping. It's not me losing lane. It's not me exposing anything. I don't care. I do not care what they did, who they did it to, or who's doing what. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just watching like you and you watching me watching them. Okay? So there's this lady, Biancasays3. Talking about Mark Lifman. Hey, so I'm reacting to Mark Lifman thing. There's a few documentaries. I thought I'm not going to do that. I'm going to react to this because it's a 9-minute video. And I'm going to do that. And people have been suggesting I must look into the Mark Lifman thing. So I'm going to. And then I might do the Bulgarian lady. If you guys want to see that. And if you want to see me do the Kendrick Lamar album, let me know. And then I'll do that also.
So I've been trying to unravel this Mark Lifman story. And it's like, there's so many twists and turns. And there's been several requests that I've covered the story. But
she's better than Annika.
The more I read, then I think, okay, now I'm going to look at this story. And then I'm going to look at this story. So this is how far I got. If you don't know who Mark Lifman is, let me give you.
So now, I've obviously heard of Mark Lifman. I always see him in the news. But I don't really know how he fits into everything. So Biancasays is going to enlighten me.
A quick overview. So Mark Lifman was the only son of Jeffrey and Rena Lifman. And he was born in Wonderbosch and lived in Wonderbosch, and he had 2 siblings and Jewish family. Jeffrey was a businessman. At a stage, they moved to Sea Point. And then Mark, who showed a flair for sports, went to Sea Point Boys High School. Also, as a young child, he also showed a flair for entrepreneurship and was cooking up sweets in his mother's kitchen. So there's a few things that you know. The reason I put the religion there as Jewish is because there was an article indicating that he was buried in the Jewish cemetery.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a little bit about Mark Lifman. Now, he was born on the 19th of May, 1967, and on the
I
3rd
don't
of
care.
November, 2024, on a Sunday
Can we
at the end of his
carry
life,
the
in
oh
the
shit.
Garden Route Mall in George, he was assassinated. So we're going to start at the end of his life
Thank
and we're going
you.
to work backwards, okay? Because this man has got a interesting criminal history. Okay, so let's start with on the 3rd of November, he went to the Garden Route Mall and he was shot 5 times. Okay, the people implicated in that and currently appearing in court is Johannes Jacobs, 53, and Gert Besaidenout, 37. Now, if you read through the article,
Kiki, to me, what's interesting, right? Like, obviously, we know a lot of boeven on the street who can also kill people. But Johannes Jacobs and Geert Besaidenout, they not just boeven from the street. They also don't look dik. They also don't look like they have glue on their hands. You know what I mean? There's no outer lime on their hands for fingerprints.
you will notice that one of the alleged assassins actually is linked to a security firm that Mark Lifman allegedly was involved in when it was set up and then he was cut out of it. But I also want to highlight that there is another article that just came out saying that there was a 10 million rand bounty on Mark Lifman's head. It was by an anonymous source and it was in IOL. And this was linked to security contracts in Middelburg at mines and a businessman in Middelburg that apparently put this bounty up. But this is all alleged.
Can I ask you guys a question in the comment section? If there was a 10 million rand bounty to kill somebody, obviously we don't know because we don't live in that world, so that's why you didn't know about a 10 million bounty. Again, speculation. Would you do it? Would you do it if somebody was going to pay you 10 million to kill somebody? Consider it, because it can change your life. Would you do it?
All right. And I know that there are also discussions with the owner of the security firm where one of the accused also work. So they shot him 5 times and then they left, but they were arrested a few hours later near Uniondale. So when he was assassinated, he was actually out on bail because he's one of the co-accused in the murder case of Brian Weinstein, who was also known as the steroid king. So he was dealing in steroids in South Africa.
See, I don't want to know or talk anything about Modek or Stanfield, so I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
But Brian Weinstein, if you look into his history, he was also fighting extradition before he was murdered to the States because they wanted to charge him for illegal dealing in steroids. I think it was up to over 70 million rand. Okay. Brian Weinstein was murdered in his home on the 18th of August 2017. So what I've gathered is that the elimination of Brian Weinstein was because they wanted to take over the illegal steroid trade. So an arrangement was made that Mark Lifman would actually pay for the assassination of Brian Weinstein. And this arrangement was made with Jerome Donkey Boyson, who is allegedly the gang boss of the Sexy Boys gang, allegedly, okay? And that's why you'll see, yeah, he's also in court, all right? And there was this discussion, but Mark Lifman indicated that he's not willing to pay more than 250,000 rand because he had previously paid for the assassination of Ralph Stanford, also an alleged gang boss, and the assassination attempt had failed, and so he wasn't going to pay 500,000 rand again. Also, in between, there were 3 attempts on a rival gang leader by the name of Nafiz Modak. Now, Nafiz Modak is also in.
Okay, Cape Town is actually wild, eh? And it's been wild for a long time, eh, bro. And the people aren't far away from us, eh? It's actually wild to think where some of these people came from and how close I actually like how close people like the everywhere, me bro, and the things that happen and how empires are built and money. Like if you think about it, right? If you go back to 1700s, do you know how much murder happened that is forgotten about and forgiven to get all the land that is owned by these big farm owners? Then you fast forward a little bit more, the cuck that people did in the 1800s to get land again, to create this wealth. And people were just killed, eradicated, taken out, right? And then you go to the early 1900s, same thing. Then you go to even like fucking South Africa, the cuck that happened to put us in the position where we are today. Now, what these people are doing are slightly different, and you're gonna say, bro, whatever, I don't give a fuck. It's slightly different what they are alleged of being of done or have done, what they have been accused of doing. But in order to gain incredible wealth, you're gonna have to do incredible things. Not everybody became fucking rich without committing or doing bad things. Just think about that for a second.
Court at the moment for other murder charges, and that is of top cop Shol Kenya. Okay, and that happened in 2020. So Shol Kenya had a no tolerance policy when it came to corruption amongst police, and he was also fighting state capture. And it has been indicated that highly placed police were actually involved in his assassination. But that's an ongoing case. But let's get back to this, because the reason this is important, now remember that Mark Lifman was assassinated, and there are 2 possible motives. One is the alleged 10 million rand that was put on his head by a businessman who remains anonymous from Middelburg around security contracts related to mines. The other is this. So someone has been assassinating the co-accused in the Brian Weinstein murder case, and 4 of them have been assassinated when we include Mark Lifman. Okay, so the first person that was assassinated was William Red Stevens on the 2nd of February 2021, and he was gunned down in front of his home in Kraaifontein. Then it was Jason Mates, and this was in March 2021, and he was also gunned down in front of his home in Mitchell's Plain. Then it was Anthony Amir van der Walt on the 13th of October 2022, and this was in his car. They were at a stop street at Grassy Park, and
Ek weet nie waarom te sê nie. It's sad. I don't even know from what to say.
Someone opened fire and he was shot and killed. And then on the 3rd of November this year, 2024, Mark Lifman met his end in a parking lot at Garden Route Mall. So the best way to understand where Lifman fits in when it comes to the Cape Town underworld is to understand that there are 2 factions. So there is the Lifman Boysen camp, and then there's the Modak Boysen camp. And the Boysen on this side is Jerome Boysen, and the Boysen on this side is Colin Boysen, and they are actually brothers. So these are the 2 camps. And
who the fuck is Jacron here, my bro? Wait. I want to see a stukje Zakron hier. Jacques Cronje. Is it that Jack Cronje? The rugby player? Can't be. No. Can't be. Alleged underworld figure Jack Cronje. Brother, I'm not logging into fuck all. He's smoking that math. Sorry, I'm trying to see images, man. Oh no, it's not that Jack Cronje. Ik ben nog net see.
And they are fighting about control around, for instance, the security services that are provided to nightclubs. So there is also allegedly extortion involved and strong arming to force people to use their services. Besides all those illegal activities, another thing that has been tied to Mark Lifman was a case that was thrown out of court in 2008. And that was of him allegedly sexually assaulting underage boys from the age of 12 to 17. Now, the story goes that he provided a dilapidated home with...
I didn't know that kak also happens. Hoe van julle was die Lifman genai wil ek weet man? I did ask them, how many of you have been making from sex by Lifman's daughter man? I know there's at least one of you watching now and I apologize. Just don't comment, then people won't know that it was you. Then you don't have to hurt me for saying that. You know what I mean?
These young boys stayed, and he owned a number of food outlets where these young boys would do casual work. And the case got thrown out of court because it was found that, first of all, one of the alleged victims just disappeared. Another thing is the man that was pointed out as procuring these boys for Mark Lifman ended up being murdered. And the court found that the boys were not consistent in their stories, and this could have been due to drug use, etc.
I'm trying to understand how in the fucking you want to be not a corrupt policeman when people just make people like this. Probably gonna have to mute that word out. Some of the words in this will be muted out just so that in case I don't like using unalive and that kind. But just think about it, right? Here's a man who got accused of doing things to underage boys. One of the victims disappeared. One of the whatever got killed. People just getting killed left, right, and center. And how in the fuck do you become a reporter knowing that they, like, people who are untouchable get touched, bro? And you want to sit here on TikTok and just talk. I'll watch. Thank you for your bravery and your white privilege and entitlement to think that nothing will ever happen to you from talking cock from your beautiful home on TikTok. But I honestly can't understand how people can just, if they know stuff, just talk. Are you then just?
In 2018, when Mark Lifman ended up in court again, there was a actual protest. So there is quite a bit to unravel.
I didn't even know about that.
And Johannes Jacobs and Gert Besaidenout will be in court again for their bail application on the 12th and 13th of December. They did request solitary confinement, but their request was denied.
It's obvious why they chose solitary confinement, and also if they are, I don't know what prison is in Gardner, but I mean if you go to Pollsmoor, solitary confinement would mean you're going to the hospital in Pollsmoor, right? If you're waiting trial in Pollsmoor, you then stay in the hospital, but I don't think you can go stay in the hospital if you're not sentenced. So if you're waiting trial, you're not guilty. You're also not innocent. So they can't, like, you done nothing, but you can't leave because you might run away. And until you get bail, there isn't really much the state can do. So based on that, I can understand why they wouldn't get it. They wouldn't be able to go stay in the hospital. Even there in the hospital, you can get touched easily, brother. The hospital is so spacious and comfortable that you live lekker there in the hospital. But people will come to the hospital for their TB medication, to see the dentist, to see the doctor. You can get touched anyway. And I can understand why, because if they from the two different camps of the people, the different boys and brothers and whatnot, and then there's obviously enemies because they killed a boss who played with boys. And for them to be in Portsmouth, it must be wherever they are. I don't even think they're intense, but that prison, wherever they are, must be tense. It must be fucking tense, bro.
But I will keep you updated.
Thank you, Bianca. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I should go deeper into this Lifman bezigheid and go find out about the Bulgarian auntie that's somewhere in Cape Town disappearing, that somebody wants, that they're looking for. The crypto queen. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know, would you kill somebody for 10 million? 10 million. If I told you now, Yalan Zalama. 10 million? 10 miljoen! This is me, Rick Lodi, on the best reaction channel on the internet, the South African Reacts to Biancasays3. Maak Lifman hulle safety boots.